Hi, and welcome back to another AI in 5. I'm your host, Simon Chris, and joining me today is Mike Banbrook. He's the CEO of Convey, and we're going to be talking about the complexities involved with great chatbots and voicebots. Hey, Mike, welcome to AI in 5. Thanks for joining us.
It's great to be here. Thanks for having me on.
Now, look, we're going to jump straight in because the topic today is chatbots and voice bots. And, we've all seen, well publicized things of purely generative AI chatbots and voice bots going rogue and doing things they shouldn't do. But that's against the backdrop of the predominance of chatbots and voice bots that are out there today, people saying that they're boring, they don't behave like a human, blah, 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 blah. So what are organizations supposed to consider about this?
You're absolutely exactly right. Look, I think the world at the minute is caught between two extremes. You've got your traditional dumb bots that, as you say, frustrate people.
Yeah.
They've not got the language capabilities. They can't interact. They give you a little set of options and that's it. That's no way to converse with someone.
Yeah.
And then you've got the other extreme, which is let's just turn an LLM on and it'll just magically do everything, won't it? It will answer the questions for us and we don't need to program it.
Of course.
I think the second one, of course, terrifies your legal and your risk teams because you just know that it's going to say something wrong at some point.
Yeah.
So I think the answer lies somewhere in the middle. The answer for it, how do you cope with giving yourself something that sounds great, but at the same time actually will give you grounded answers?
So are you talking about some new magical form of AI, or are you talking about mixing the different forms of AI?
It's mixing the forms of AI along with deterministic rules. So this is what you might call governed AI or
Okay.
composite AI. It's the same sort of thing. So you're not just plugging the LLM straight in and saying go. What you're doing is creating a wrapper and an orchestration layer around it, and then using lots of little micro questions to the LLM. So you're not just giving it one big question and saying, hey, go.
Mm-hmm.
You're breaking it down into small, easy chunks that it can do. If you give an LLM a small chunk, it doesn't tend to hallucinate. A small chunk, it can understand what to do and it knows its boundaries. You're effectively reducing its agency.
Mm-hmm.
And you run an orchestration layer around it. That's what a product like ours does. Oration sits around it all and just makes sure that everything is governed. Now that moves you to the point you've got the conversational fluidity of a human, which is what the LLM is giving you, but the strict compliance that you need for these types of channels.
Okay, and these solutions though still rely on some kind of a RAG type process, right? Where they're going and retrieving information from somewhere and using that, or are you fine tuning the LLM to know what it should talk about? How are you kind of doing that?
Kind of a bit of combination of all of that, really. So the way that the governed process works is you actually certify all your answers. So you do actually make sure that all of your chunks, all of your information is boiled down into small bits
Mm-hmm.
that are then accessed by the LLM and pulled back. The LLM has the power to slightly rephrase it, but it's not allowed to take two chunks and generate something between them. So that's
Oh,
the core thing, which is you have to be very careful that it can't take multiple pieces of information and give you an answer. So what's 2 plus 2? Is it 22 or 4? And depending on where it got its information, it could give you either answer. So
yeah, okay.
you're actually using it to give you answers you've already pre-certified and then
Does
just
this
put a bit of a
does this
human
mean
mouth on it.
organizations are going to have to, as is always the case with AI, are going to have to focus on the data, right? They can't just give, you're saying don't just give it a 30-page PDF. You're
Oh,
saying
100.
give it constrained pieces of little chunks of information. Does that need to be in a knowledge tool or in a vector, database or something? Or
There's many ways of doing it. What we propose is that you build it down into a database that the LLM is able to find. So it's not quite RAG. RAG allows it to combine things as well. So we're very careful not to do that because you don't want it to take bits of information from two places and combine them.
Yep.
So building up your own internal database, and that's part of this orchestration that we talk about, that the tool you use to create these types of bots has to do all of this within its world. You can't expect separate a knowledge base and a front end and a separate LLM all to talk together properly. You have to have something that draws them together instead.
Okay, so what I'm hearing is that, as usual, it's not just pull it out of the box and use it. There's some work and stuff that's got to go on. Look, thanks. Believe it or not, we're already at time, but I love to ask everyone the same question, and that is, what should an organization be thinking about or focusing on or doing if they're just starting their AI journey? A lot of organizations are, oh, we've rolled out Copilot, but now it's the next step. What should they be thinking about?
Um, I think really getting a really clear understanding of the vast difference between a prototype and production.
Mm.
It's incredibly easy to take the raw components of the technology that's available today and build a prototype that sounds incredible. But the difference between that and the production ready version that actually will get through your risk team is chalk and cheese.
Yeah.
So really understand that and use the prototype to create the vision, but then work out how are you going to actually deliver that vision using a full orchestration layer.
Mike, it's been a fantastic AI and 5. Thanks so much.
My pleasure. Great to talk to you.